You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. And it is autumn. Oh, it is the best season in the mountains you could wish for. This is why we live up here. It never gets too cold in winter, but it's still cold. It never gets too hot in summer, but it's still hot. It's about right in spring, but it's windy. But autumn, oh my gosh, this is the time we shine. The trees are starting to change a little bit of color. And I'm getting some questions here at Waters Garden Center, at least here in Prescott, where my neighbor's trees have turned colors. Mine haven't. What's going on? You gardeners, you are so impatient. My goodness. All trees don't turn at the same time. They change in waves, and it depends on if your tree is at the bottom of a hill where a little colder air settles, it might turn sooner. If you're on the east side of a hill, that's going to be a different turn cycle than on the west side. So depending on the exposure, the temperature, the light will change when your Virginia creeper will start turning red, when your burning bush will start burning bright red, when your Armstrong maples start turning orange. You'll have, just because your neighbors turned a few days, maybe a week to 10 days before you did, just be patient. Your turn will come. Promise, your turn will come. So just kind of watch that in your neighborhood, especially if you're out in the valley areas where it's more flat. Probably not much of an issue. But here in the mountainy areas, neighborhoods, you'll see that play out in your landscapes. And so just enjoy the season as it cycles through. Right now, you are going to see some of your plants. So my vincas look terrible. I love summer blooming vincas. So I am going to rip those out this weekend, and I'm going to replace them with pansies and violas. I got some beautiful 1 gallon kind of mixed giant pansies. These are plants that love the fall, winter, and spring seasons. This is when they shine. Even when there's snow out in January, they're still blooming their heads off. They just love the cold. They're like the polar bears of the flower world, only with flowers. And so I'm going to plant those so they have time to fill in and flush and get more growth to them. And those plants that are looking a little off, they're coming out. And so my watermelons, I've picked those. They're done. And now the vines are withering. They're just kind of over. They're bringing me down. They're coming out, and I can make room for my fall and winter vegetables. Yes, you can grow those. I know the Midwest folks go, no, that's not possible. Oh, I've never seen that happen before. But you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. This is God's country. We got nice weather every day of the year, and you can have plants that appreciate that. You just have to cycle them at the right time. So now is the time you plant your cabbage, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, chives, your herbs like parsley, kale, kale. What else? Lavenders, sage. These are things that are evergreen. They love the cold. They're going to be beautiful. They like the cold. They do better. If you plant spinach too late in spring, it starts to bolt, turns off flavored. They don't like the heat. It makes it just taste funny. But now they like the cold. That's what brings the flavor out of these plants. This is what makes pansies and kale and cabbage. This is what makes snapdragons just shine when other things fade. There's a season for them. So there's cold loving plants and there's hot loving plants. You need to have a cycle for both. So plant accordingly. Right now, I'm starting to bring my color in closer to the house. And so as I see my summer blooming things, not like I've got one geranium that it's not getting enough light. It's a beautiful plant, but it's not blooming. I know it's going to run out of time. I'm ripping that thing out, even though it's fully alive. It's coming out, making room because it's right by my front door. I want something beautiful looking at me at Christmas dinner going, gosh, welcome, happy holidays to you and all your kin. Come on into the house. I want that thing blooming and shining gloriously. You can have those if you plant accordingly. So I think I'm going to put a snapdragon, a few pansies, maybe an ornamental kale, although I won't do that because that's by the front door. The javelina just they ravaged my landscape in the front. The backyard is fenced. They can't get in. Front yard, I think I'll stick with things they can't really go after. They don't like snaps. They don't like mums. They don't like asters. They don't like certain things. I'll plant that. So I want something, though, that's colorful that greets me as the seasons progress. We're going to get our first frost typically by the end of this month. So the locals use Halloween as our first frost date. Now, that's 100 years of data. I think the actual date is October 29, but locals kind of use holidays. Remember, I can't remember the 29th. I can remember Halloween, though. Now, last year, it was, I think, the second week in November. We got our first frost. So it fluxes depending on the season. It feels a little chilly this year, so it might be a little early. I have no idea. But the 100-year average is Halloween. Just be prepared for that first frost. And what does that mean? That means the tomato plants that are just loaded up with fruit right now, you need to have sheets and frost cover ready because it's going to freeze and then it'll be nice again. And so we have these violent swings. It can be frosty. Oh my gosh, it's cold. Then it goes right back to glorious days again. That's how we're going to slowly go into winter. And they'll have this just very pleasant days through November, really through Thanksgiving. And then December hits, and then it's just cold. So just be ready for that first frost event. Don't be surprised. I let you know it's going to be in 2 or 3 weeks. And then it's going to be nice again. If you just keep them alive, you can get an extra, 20 tomatoes off that plant, extra set of zucchinis, extra, you can get extra. And then if they fade, just replace them. I'm aggressively replacing plants that are looking off right now. So the watermelons are coming out, the cucumbers are done, eggplants, I know I'm done with that. Tomatoes look fantastic. I think what I'm going to do is I've got so many tomatoes, I don't know what to do with them all. I have brought baskets full into the garden center, given them to staff, friends, and still I can't. I think I'm just going to pick the last few when the frost comes and let the plant go and just replace it. I'll just that spot. They're so huge right now. They're bigger than I am, and they're happy as can be. They love this time of year. So I think I'll just not cover them. Just going to pick the last few and let the plant go. And then I'll put in some. I do love kale, and you pick that right through winter. It's so healthy. It's so good in smoothies. I just love kale. My mouth's watering thinking about kale, and it tastes better through the winter. Parsley, it just produces like crazy when you plant it right now. If you plant things now, it's amazing how they grow. Have you noticed your roses? How beautiful they are. This is their time to shine. They get all their claim to fame in spring, but spring has all these issues. Brand new growth, the wind comes, you've got thrip and aphids all over the place. It's hard to get them out of the buds. Right now, there aren't any real thrip. There's a few aphids, not very many. They bloom a whole lot longer right now. They're bigger flowers, more of them. In fact, I wish I could get our industry to shift from bare root roses in spring. They're doing that just because they're cheap. There's a lot of failure. They take 2-3 years before they finally get up to size. But if you put a rose in now, they bloom through Thanksgiving. They root like crazy. It's actually a better experience by planting a rose now. I just can't get the industry to cycle their crop rotation so that they're glorious now instead of in March and April. Keep working on them. Keep trying. If you could find the rose you like, now is the time. Just fertilize them. You'll get some of the best blooms out of your established roses right now. Now's the time to really enjoy that The colors.
Water's October companion plants that grow well together are blaze maple, burning bush, spicy mums, and glamour kale.
Few flowers are more elegant in fall than Water's Glamour Kale.
The autumn colors are perfect for containers, beds, and borders.
And it's so easy to grow.
This unique Prescott selection is an award winner for cold hardiness, intense red, purple flowers in a frilly package.
You'll find bright fall flowers here at Water's Garden Center in Prescott. For a more fruitful garden, increase success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Water's Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.